ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם לדורותם ברית עולם Seventh day, God ceased from work and was renewed. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם לדורותם ברית מודים אנחנו לך שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו לעולם ועד. מודים אנחנו לך צור חיינו מגן ישנו אתה הוא לדור ודור. מודים אנחנו לך לעולם ועד. For the sun that rises in the east, for the seas that roar a prayer, for the stillness of a snowfall, for a breath of autumn air, for the grasp within my fingers, for a mind that makes me whole, for the voice that God has given me to speak the truth within my soul. Modi, anachnu lach, modim, anachnu lach, modim, anachnu lach, leolam vaed. Ve'al nisecha שבכל יום עמנו, שבכל יום עמנו. ועל נפלותיך וטובותיך, ערב ובוקר וצהריים. For the laughter of the children, for the way they greet the day, with their endless stream of questions, they remind us how to play. And for the ones we call beloved, who take away our fear, they tell us without saying it, remember I am here, remember I am here. Modim, anachnu lach, modim, anachnu lach, modim, anachnu lach, leolam vaed. Sur chayenu, magen yishenu, atahu ledor vador. Modim, anachnu lach, leolam vaed. Modim, אבותינו, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, מי שברך אמותינו, שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mi sheberach avoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Mi ברחמותינו, שרה רבקה לאה ורחל. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon, lechol ha-shalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon, lechol ha-shalom. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amecha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Save us for the sake of your name, shield us from hatred, sorrow and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu. zarua latzadik, uyishrei lev simcha. Or 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 zarua latzadik, uyishrei lev simcha. Try that with us. Or zarua latzadik, uyishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik, uyishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik, uyishrei lev simcha. Makes it shine when I do right. It becomes mine straight from the heart. Happiness grows where there's a light. Love overflows. Or zarua latzadik, uyishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik, uyishrei lev simcha.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
So nice to see everybody. Look, people are sitting in different places, and it's throwing my access off. What's happening over there? You're usually there. I'm going to need you all to get up and... No, I'm just kidding. Welcome to our group from Trevecca. We're so glad you're with us. So glad to have you here. Make sure to be very nice to them. They may have questions for some of you after the service. Welcome to the Hauser extended family and community, celebrating Seth's bar mitzvah this weekend. We're so excited about that. How is Ezra doing? Okay, so Lindsay and Ben had a baby, Ezra Milton, and he was born very, very early, so he's not here tonight. But, I mean, how's the feeding thing going? All right. I was going to say, he's a Jewish boy. He'll learn to eat quick. I have faith in him. Yeah, and then you'll be feeding him for the rest of your life. But you can send him to my mother-in-law's because she's very good at feeding my boys. So, well, we're glad to have you back. All right, this is such a nice Shabbat. I'm so happy to have all of you here with us. I'm Rabbi Lori Rice. This is Cantor Josh. We have Charles on the piano and keyboard. And we're just going to dive right on in. Let's have the Hauser family come forward and light our Shabbat candles to get started. Oh, welcome to Micah. I don't really know what slides are going to come up, but we're going to see what happens. Candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you, Hauser family. So, Rabbi Flip and I and Cantor Josh attended a service of one of our very dear friends, and they started the service with a moment of meditation. And for those of you who think, oh, really? I would say, yeah, really. It's Shabbat, and Shabbat is a time of rest, and so we're going to take a moment just to kind of center ourselves, just a moment, and to really make sure that we are relaxed and ready to let Shabbat into our hearts and into our bodies. We want to feel Shabbat in every bone and sinew and tendon and part of our bodies. So if it's comfortable for you, you're welcome to close your eyes. You do not have to. And we're just going to take 5 deep breaths together. And as you take a deep inhale, go ahead and breathe in. Imagine as you exhale the breath flowing through your body, and with your exhale, you relax your shoulders a little bit. And then take in another deep breath through the nose. And on the exhale, maybe relax your shoulders and just let your chin drop slightly forward. And take a third deep breath in and imagine the air moving all the way through to your fingertips and toes. And as you exhale, slowly lift your chin and relax your shoulders, settle into your chair. Take another 4th deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale and sit even deeper into your chair, feel the vertebrae of your spine against the back of your chair. And on your last deep final breath in through the nose, exhale and open your palms to release anything you're holding in your hands and thus on your mind. And then take 2 more breaths on your own. And as you slowly open your eyes, imagine now with a calm heart and a relaxed spirit that we are ready to embrace and welcome in the angels of Shabbat with the words of Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malchei Sharet, Malchei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malchei Sharet, Malchei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem l'shalom, Malchei Shalom, Malchei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malchei Shalom, Malchei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malchei Shalom, Malchei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malchei Shalom, Malchei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malchei Shalom, Malchei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malchei Shalom, Malchei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malchei Shalom, Malchei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yalla la la la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la la la, yalla la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la la la, yalla la la, yalla la la la, yalla la 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 la. Yay lay la lay lay, yay lay lay lay, yay lay la la lay lay lay, yay lay lay lay, yay lay la la
Seth, if he'll come forward as we all rise so he can lead us in the words of Hatzi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitgadal shemei rabba.
Amen.
Ba'alma divarach chute v'al nichma chute. B'chayachon uv'yomechon. Uchay dekol beit Yisrael. Bagala uv'zman kariv. V'meru amen. Yehei shemei rabba mevorach. Leolam u'olmei almaya. Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitbar, V'yitraman, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Degridasha, Brechu, Le'elan min kol berchata, V'shirata, Tushbechata, V'nechemata, Damiran Belma, V'meru, Amen.
Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yalai. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai.
So, in each of our services, we have this Baruch Hu prayer, which we just stood and sang together. And it's the prayer that essentially says, okay, we're warmed up, and now that we're ready, we've stretched, we've sort of got our joints moving, and our vocal cords ready to go, we can now have this communication with God, however it is that you think of God, or connect with our spiritual selves and something bigger than ourselves. And the first thing that Judaism tells us is, yeah, we know that you need something tangible. That this idea of God that we can't see or touch or just call on our whim and be available to us is really hard to understand or even grasp, and for some people just to believe in general. And so Judaism says, but here's how you'll know that you have a connection with God. Because God gave you this gift, and for us, it's the gift of Torah. So we sing about this gift in the evening with the words of Ahavat Olam, in the morning with the words of Ahava Rabbah, but essentially the theme is the same, which is how do we know that we are in this loving covenant with the divine? Because we have Torah.
Ahavat Olam, Beis Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadetam, Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, B'shochbeinu בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל שמע ישראל אדוני Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Seth is going to continue leading us in the words of Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מספר היום על לבביך ושיננתן לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך והיו לתוצפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם
Adonai Elohechem Emet. Thank you, Seth. If you want more, you can come back tomorrow morning.
Oh, he'll be back. So, the people of Sharon, Israel, are very familiar with earthquakes because they live in a region that is subject to many earthquakes. And on Yom Kippur, when they pray together, they plead with God that their houses not become their graves. Meaning, one way to understand this prayer is that our blessings not become our curses. See, they know that wealth is a great blessing, that when it brings with it ostentation, rapacious competition, empty acquisition, well then we've allowed a blessing to become a curse. Freedom is also a blessing. But when we allow that freedom to lead to the unmooring of our values or character, then it's become a curse. Passion for causes and the causes of the world is vital, it's important. But when that passion for the causes outside our door leads us to neglect those in our very own home, or to express love to strangers and treat those closest to us indifferently or cruelly, then a blessing has become a curse. And so as we enter Shabbat, which is a time of renewal, a time of weekly renewal for us, it's a good time for prayer. We who have so many blessings should in fact pray. Because in the tradition of the people of Sharon, when we pray, we say, "Dear God, may our blessings not become our curses, and may we continue to always be blessed."
Courage, you're the only one. Courage, walking in the sun, reaching in the dark. Listen to my heart. Courage, back to the start. Chamocha, ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha. Mi chamocha, nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha. Courage, look me in the eye. Courage, show me what's inside. Not to hold you tight, I know I'll be alright. Courage to fail and shine. Mi chamocha, ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha. Mi chamocha, nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha. Let's take a second to breathe. Breathe in that feeling of courage. Breathing out fear. Breathing in and out, breathing in and out. 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 Mi chamocha, ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha. Mi chamocha, nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha. Breathing in and out, breathing in and out. Breathing in and out, breathing in and out.
So we're going to pause at this point. I always get excited to have us share our celebrations and simchas with each other because some of us might need the joy of somebody else's experience from the week to lift us up a little bit on the Shabbat. So if you have something that you want to share with us, some news, some goodness, an anniversary, a birthday. My birthday was Sunday, so I'll share that. I'm still here, so that's the good news.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. All right, so other good things to share on the Shabbat. Yes, Steve. Yours is today?
Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday. I have a special place in my heart for other October birthdays, so I'm very excited that you're an October birthday. Okay.
But who's counting?
Sorry, Tom. Who's got their hand up? Oh, Monica, hi. Happy birthday. Okay, raise your hand if you're an October birthday. Is it just us? Oh, we got some over here. What's your date? All right, happy belated.
Mine's the 18th.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday to your mom for your birthday.
I know.
Yay.
I got to be a mom at 39. That was the real gift.
That's really awesome.
29.
We were going to get you a gift, but we couldn't think of anything better than that.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, so you have a baby. Somebody else raised their hand. Who else was an October birthday that I missed? Oh, when was your birthday? Or is?
26.
Ah, it's coming up. Well, happy early birthday. All right, October birthdays. Way to go. What other celebrations do we have? Other goodness. Yeah. Ah, that's amazing. Here in Tennessee? Okay, well, that's exciting. Congratulations for you and your son. Amazing. Awesome. I know what we got coming up, so hold your thoughts there, Warren. Hold your thoughts. Yes, Beth.
Our son Austin Kurt is now employed at MTSU.
Whoop, whoop.
All right.
Employment for children. So exciting.
Off the payroll.
I'm going to say that one day, too. I'm excited. Very excited. Meanwhile, feel free to drop off meals for me. Seth. I know, it's so exciting. We're very excited. You're gonna, by all evidence, shows that you'll do just fine tomorrow morning. You better than just fine. It's gonna be great. Did I miss a hand? I thought I saw one. Anything? All right. Well, we would like to invite Warren and Alice and Jacqueline and Michael to please come forward. Yep. We've got two soon-to-be married couples with us this evening, and we want to celebrate them. So come on up. We're going to have you stand over here by Cantor. Yeah, I don't know where that is. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Misty, can we use this? Yeah. All right. Okay, great. Hi, guys. Okay. You guys are getting married this weekend, right? Next weekend, which is why I couldn't marry them, and Cantor will be marrying them, because it's my niece's bat mitzvah. And you guys are getting married out of town.
Right, November 5th.
Oh, that's also a great weekend. I'm so excited. Okay. A marriage is a covenant, but it is also a prayer. A hope that the love two people share is strong enough to last a lifetime. The marriage ceremony is the moment when two separate people unite to create a family, one future, one light. Warren and Alice, Michael and Jacqueline, you are going to stand and be married, perhaps under a huppah. I'm not sure. I won't be at either of yours, but I know they'll be lovely. Tonight, our community blesses you both as you prepare to receive God's blessing.
As you prepare to marry one another, you may be excited, you may be nervous, and none of you, I know, take this step lightly. You're aware that this is a big commitment, and you all know what a huge miracle it is to be able to spend the rest of your lives with someone you love.
So we say, Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzhak v'Yaakov v'Imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech et hachatan ve'et hakala. May God, who blessed the men and women of Israel in every generation, bless these two couples as they continue on life's journey. We pray that the sacred commitments of your wedding days will sustain you all the days of your lives. May the love that binds you be strong and lasting. May your hearts be filled with patience and understanding for one another. May your home be a mikdash me'at, a sanctuary built on devotion to God, Torah, and the people Israel. Makor HaChayim, source of all life, may the love of these two couples inspire and bless all of us, our whole community, and we say together, Amen.
Lauren and Alice, Jacqueline and Michael, may your love for each other grow deeper with each passing day and each passing year. May the bonds between you grow stronger. May your home be filled with peace and light. May God shield you from all harm. May you never take each other for granted. God, please guide Warren and Alice and Michael and Jacqueline to create lives together filled with respect, loyalty, kindness, and laughter. May all of your prayers be answered. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Blessed is Adonai who bestows love on all people Israel. And now we'll give you the oldest blessing in our tradition, the priestly benediction. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you all and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'kuneka.
May God's blessing shine upon you on the weekend of the 28th and November 5th and through you all the days of your life.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha, v'yasem lecha shalom, shalom.
And may all four of you know the greatest gift we can be given is the gift of shleimut, of wholeness, and of peace, and of complete love and joy. And together we say one more time,
Amen.
Amen. Congratulations.
Tov, mazel tov, simmin tov, mazel tov, simmin tov, mazel tov, simmin tov, yehelanu, uvecho Yisrael, yehelanu, uvecho Yisrael, yehelanu, uvecho Yisrael, yehelanu, uvecho Yisrael. Mazel tov, you guys.
All right, we'll backtrack here and we'll continue with a prayer for protection and peace, not just for Jacqueline and Michael and Warren and Alice, but for all of us on this Shabbat.
Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'ha'amidenu shomereinu lechayim Hashivenu Adonai Ha'amidenu shomereinu lechayim Uferos aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha Uferos aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'ha'amidenu shomereinu lechayim Uferos aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha שלום, והעמידנו שומרנו, שומרנו לחיים.
That wasn't supposed to be there. Well, the applause slide.
I'll take it.
Can we get rid of this slide? Yeah.
Please rise for our standing prayer, the Amidah. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora El Elyon גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומסיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please take these next few moments for your own silent prayer. When you've completed it, you're welcome to find your seat.
רצון אמרי פי יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. O say shalom bimromav, say Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru
We think of those in our community who are in need of healing. We think of Ezra Milton, John Mitchell, Craig Smith, Deborah Scott, Penny Enton, Joyce Monk, Hope Stringer, Victoria Cohen, Yvonne Fox, Wayne Ritt, Marta Arrett, Rusty King, David Ragusin, Guy Cherkesky. Please share the names of those you are thinking of as my hand moves around the room. The words are El Na Rafanallah, please God, heal them.
Anna Elna Refanallah Anna Elna
So it was about a little before 8 in the morning on a Friday in January, the height of morning rush hour, when a man entered a metro station in Washington, D.C., and positioned himself against a wall next to a trash basket. Don't worry, nothing awful is going to happen. He was a youngish guy in jeans, a long-sleeve t-shirt, and a Washington Nationals baseball cap. He opened a small case and he took out a violin. Setting the open case at its feet, he threw in a few dollars and some pocket change. He picked up his violin and he began to play. In the next 43 minutes, as the violinist performed 6 classical pieces, 1,907 people passed by. Most were on their way to work at the federal buildings located nearby. During the time he played, 6 people stopped and stayed for a few moments to listen. About 20 tossed money into his violin case, but kept walking at their normal pace. The rest ignored him. Interestingly, every single child who passed by tried to stop and watch, and every single time the parent dragged the child away. At the end of his final piece, the musician put down his violin to be greeted by silence. No one took any notice. He counted the money he had received, $32.17. Yes, some people had tossed in pennies. The violinist who performed that day was Joshua Bell, one of the great virtuosos of our time. He played some of the most magnificent music ever created on an instrument worth $3.5 million. 2 days before he played in the subway, Joshua Bell played to a sold-out crowd at a Boston concert hall at $100 a seat. A few months later, he received the Avery Fisher Prize, awarded to the best classical musician in America. I picked this for the Hausers. Okay, his subway performance was an experiment devised by the Washington Post to explore human perception and priorities. The editors were prepared for all sorts of contingencies once people recognized that Joshua Bell was in their midst. Riots, mass hysteria, crowd control from police with rubber bullets. They were totally unprepared for him to be a flop. In the subway hall, Bell is making a big sound, and the acoustics are fantastic in this high-ceiling station. Meanwhile, hundreds of people are just rushing by, not even glancing at the violinist. Some are talking on cell phones, some have earbuds in their ears, and some are just marching forward, eyes on the escalator. Of course, a lot of them are in a hurry, but how is it that they don't even look? How could they be so oblivious to the beautiful music that was rising up all around them? A senior curator at the National Gallery says, we can't blame the Metro commuters too much for their lack of taste. He sees this as an experiment of art without the frame. We expect to hear great music when we get dressed up and we go to a concert. We're prepared to encounter it, but in a subway station, not so much. Take a painting by Ellsworth Kelly, worth $5 million. Hang it up in a neighborhood restaurant where there's local art on the walls with a price tag that says $150, and no one gives it a second look. Now, there's a film that I'm sure most of you, well, maybe not all, but a lot of you have seen by the Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Daniel Simon and Christopher Chabris. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. So I saw this on the internet. You may have as well. You're told that you're about to see a short film of two teams playing basketball. Your assignment is to count the number of times the ball is passed back and forth by players wearing the white jersey. Let's see if we can do this.
This is a test of selective attention. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the basketball. How many passes?
Okay. How many passes did you count? Okay, raise your hand if you're 14. Raise your hand if you're 15. Okay. Now, I focused intently on the film and was pretty sure when it ended that I had come up with the correct number of passes. And sure enough, I was right. The narrator of the film then asks, I don't know if I can go back. Let's see if I can.
This is a test of
Hold on.
selective attention.
Hold on, we're not going to watch the whole thing again, don't worry. Hold on. Give me a second.
This is a test of selective attention.
Oh, forget it. All right, I'll just tell you what happens. The narrator of the film then asks, did you see anything else unusual in the film? Okay, I couldn't imagine what I had missed. I watched intently. It turns out what I missed was that big hairy gorilla. How many of you did not see the big hairy gorilla? Raise your hand, be honest. Okay, thank you. So I feel like, just for fun. Okay, watch. Just watch.
Count how many times.
All right, it's short, but watch for a second.
Basketball.
Look for the big hairy gorilla. You're going to laugh. Here we go. Keep watching. Okay. Was there the first time? Yes, it was. I played the same thing. You saw it. I can't work this thing. I don't know how to get it past that one thing. All right. Okay, so I missed the big hairy gorilla the first time. And now, so funny. Okay, so I can't turn my page. All right, so even though my eyes aren't perfect, and I got my eye doctor right here in the front row, I couldn't imagine that I'd possibly missed that. I watched the film again. This time, sure enough, someone in a gorilla suit walked through the group of basketball players, stood in the center of the screen for several minutes, beat his chest, you just saw, and then walked out. Now, in the original experiment, 56% of those who watched the film failed to notice the gorilla. So you're in good company. Their brains were so focused on the task at hand, right, counting the basketball passes, that they filtered out the irrelevant and distracting information that a big chest-thumping chimp had come on the scene. It's a phenomenon known as inattentional blindness. And it's defined as the failure to notice unusual and salient events in our visual world when attention is otherwise engaged and the events are unexpected. In other words, we don't see or hear the world around us nearly as well as we think we do. We see what we expect to see and often miss what is right in front of our nose. Failure to pay proper attention can render us blind and deaf. So how often do we fail to pay proper attention? How often might we open our eyes to suddenly perceive something new and see things differently? Well, our Torah portion this week, which is the very beginning of the Torah, Bereshit, the very first in our total corpus of parshas, of chapters, in the beginning. And from the very outset, God, when God created all that is, God did so with very specific and great intention. God speaks the world into being, and on the third day, God says, let the earth grow vegetation, seed-bearing plants, fruit trees on the earth that bear fruit, each true to its type. The earth brought forth vegetation, seed-bearing plants, each true to its type, leminehu. Each living thing that God created, God did so leminehu, true to its type. Each thing was created exactly as it was supposed to be, perfect and beautiful, leminehu, in its own right. And God saw that it was good. This creation of all things as they are supposed to be, created from the divine, all things as they are, God saw it as good. And then on the sixth day, God created us, humans, in God's likeness, B'Tselem Elohim. Every one of us, created in the image of the divine. But that's not always as we see people. We judge people every day for the wrong reasons. Consider these words from the Talmud. Blessings are found not in those things which can be weighed, measured, or counted, but in that which is hidden from the eye. If you want to see what's best and most true, you have to go beneath the surface and not be satisfied with the superficial view. That grungy guy in the t-shirt sawing away on his violin might be worth a second look. Look more deeply at the world before you, and you will discover blessings that you never suspected. I'm thinking tonight about what is unseen and unappreciated, and to our grievous loss, and how our failures of vision impoverish our world. Sometimes, in fact, the music that we do not hear and the blessings we do not see are a matter of life and death. There's a prayer composed by the writer Mary Gordon called, "For Those Whose Work is Invisible." It goes like this. For those who paint the undersides of boats, makers of ornamental drains on roofs too high to be seen, for cobblers who labor over inner souls, for seamstresses who stitch the wrong sides of linings, for scholars whose research leads to no obvious discovery, for dentists who polish each gold surface of the fillings of upper molars, for sewer engineers and those who repair water mains, for electricians, for surgeons whose sutures are things of beauty, For all those whose work is for God's eye only, who labor for God's entertainment or their own, who sleep in peace or do not sleep in peace, knowing their efforts are unknown. Protect them from downheartedness. Grant them perseverance for the sake of your love, which is humble, invisible, and heedless of reward. Think of all the people whose efforts, unseen and unappreciated, add beauty and blessing to the world. They do quality work just because they take pride in their job and they know it's the right thing to do. Because tonight, this room is filled with those people. When we open our eyes and we see them everywhere, bussing our tables in restaurants, cleaning our rooms in hotels, digging up weeds in our gardens, bagging groceries with a smile, changing sheets in the hospital, lifting elderly people into ambulances, patrolling our streets late at night to keep us safe. They deserve to be seen by us and appreciated and decently compensated. Their efforts deserve our recognition and our thanks. For as George Eliot wrote in the beautiful passage that ends Middlemarch, the growing good of the world is partly dependent on unhistoric acts, and that things are not so ill with you and me as they might have been is half owing to the number who lived faithfully a hidden life and rest in unvisited tombs. There are others the world may overlook, whose beauty may go unperceived, and we are much the poorer for it. People in wheelchairs who travel below the sight lines of others. People who lose their hearing, whose world narrows and isolates them as sound disappears. People with cerebral palsy or other brain disorders who may have normal or above normal intelligence but have difficulty controlling their muscles. Elderly people who are so frail they can only speak in a whisper. The truth is that it's hard to have a conversation with people like the ones I'm describing when we're in a rush to get someplace else. It may take some extra effort and patience and time, and I'm a rusher and sometimes low on patience. But when we miss the opportunity, our lives, my life, is diminished. This not pity that I speak about this Shabbat, I'm describing a failure of perception, and what is called for is a shift in our ability to recognize beauty, even when it comes without the expected frame. Rabbi Janet Martyr reminds us that Jewish tradition teaches another very different concept about how to relate to others, whether or not they have a disability. It's called kavod habriot, and it means human dignity and respect. You might say that our sages were preoccupied with this subject. They sought in every possible way to instill kavod habriot in the Jewish character and to teach us how to honor or show honor to every person, regardless of race, ability, or status. Kavod habriot, the dignity of all people, rests on the notion that there is something of significance, of sacred value in every one of us. We overlook or dismiss another human being at our own moral peril. So we are taught in Pirkei Avot, do not be scornful of any person and do not disparage any object, for there's no one who does not have his or her hour, and there is no object that does not have its place. Leminehu, each true to its type. So I'll end with a story about, well, it's a story that Fred Rogers, the late and beloved Mr. Rogers, told at a commencement address he gave at Marquette University. I really hope everyone here knows who Mr. Rogers is. Okay. And if you don't know, just go home and Google it and you can watch an old episode. All right. He said, I wonder if you've heard what happened at the Seattle Special Olympics a few years ago. For the 100-yard dash, there were 9 contestants, all of them so-called physically or mentally disabled. All 9 of them assembled at the starting gate, and at the sound of the gun, they took off. But one little boy stumbled and fell and hurt his knee and began to cry. The other 8 children heard the boy crying, and they slowed down and turned around, and they saw the boy, and they ran back to him. And every one of them ran back to him. And one little girl with Down syndrome bent down and kissed the boy and said, "This will make it better." And the little boy got up, and he and the rest of the runners linked their arms together and joyfully walked to the finish line. And they all finished the race at the same time. And when they did, everyone in the stadium stood up and clapped and whistled and cheered for a really long time. And people who were there still tell the story today with such delight. And you know why they do? Because deep down, we know that what matters in this life is more than winning for ourselves. What really matters is helping others win too, even if it means slowing down and changing our course every now and then. On this Shabbat, as we begin this new cycle of Torah, this new year of Torah, may we all have the patience and wisdom to see one another and all of God's creatures, laminehu, exactly as they are, created by the divine, imbued with the divine. It would be truly divine. Shabbat shalom.
So I want to share a special piece of music for Parshat Bereshit, and this is from a underrated, I think one of the most underrated Broadway musicals of all time, Children of Eden by Stephen Schwartz.
Can we just pause to say we hired a cantor who loves Broadway? Okay.
That was your hidden agenda this whole
Yes, yes, it was like a stipulation.
Yeah.
We didn't actually care if you could sing, just that you love Broadway. No, we cared.
So this one is called Spark of Creation, based on the book of Genesis. Beyond, beyond, it sounds full of wind and mist, doesn't it? It means other things exist, doesn't it? Beyond, beyond, it says, Adam, leave your list, doesn't it? Father, why does my head feel this joy and this dread since the moment I said, beyond? I've got an itching on the tips of my fingers. I've got a boiling in the back of my brain. I've got a hunger burning inside me, cannot be denied. I've got a feeling that the Father who made us, when he was kindling the pulse in my veins, he left a tiny spark of that fire smoldering inside. The spark of creation is flickering within me. The spark of creation is blazing in my blood. A bit of the fire that lit up the stars and breathed life into the mud. The first inspiration, the spark of creation. I see a mountain and I want to climb it. I see a river and I want to leave shore. Where there was nothing, now there is something, something made by me. There's things waiting for me to invent them. There's worlds waiting for me to explore. I am an echo of the eternal spark of let there be, the spark of creation, burning bright within me. The spark of creation won't let me rest at all until I discover or build or uncover a thing I can call my celebration of the spark of creation. The spark of creation, may it burn forever. The spark of creation, I am a keeper of the flame. We think all we want is a lifetime of leisure, each perfect day the same, endless vacation. Well, that's alright if you're a kind of crustacean, but when you're born with an imagination, sooner or later your feeling of fire gets hotter and higher. The spark of creation.
That's beautiful. I think I also saw Jacqueline and Michael going, all right, we got the cantor. We're just like psyched on that. I mean, right? Yeah, I know. Okay, we're going to rise together for the words of Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. You may be seated.
We honor the following Yortzites tonight. We'll rise again in just a moment. Actually, let's do this since you're seated. If you are here honoring the Yortzite of someone who I name, I'll invite you to go ahead and stand as you hear that name, and then we'll all stand together for the mourner's Kaddish at the end. Thea Godofsky, Dr. Sidney S. Rice, Eileen Kaplan-Kessler, Bernard Davis, Betty Raunheim, Elizabeth Sheldon, Elmer Craig, Francis Zelensky, Harriet Rothkopf Starr, Henry Cutler, Jacob Schlesinger, Jerome Allen Averbush, Julius Israel, Leon Morse Hecht Sr., Marcia Weingauss, Marshall Lewis, Martha Hahn, Mary Tossman Reinhardt, Stephen N. Angus, Robert Kingsley, Robert Siegel, Seymour Spira, William Bill Drongowski, George Hahn, Jerry Eli, T.J. Cohen, Arnold Hyatt, Stephen Allen Cooper, Norman Edward Heyman, Toby Lee Spiegel, Artis Felix, Kathleen Guccione, Kent Nolan, Laura Cass Hockman, Robert Charles Levine, Trevor Clark, Philip Ginsberg, Conrad Raymond Jacobs, Susan Ruckman, B.B. Weinstein, Marvin Oakes, Walter Stern, Evelyn Richmond, Lucille Foley, Stephen Joel Dubin, Roland Terry Hill, Martin Rabin, Frank Parker, Bertram Humble Chalfont Jr., Steve Geringer, Harvey Sevier, Margaret Friedman Vaughn. We'll all rise together for the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yiratei v'amlich malchutei. B'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudashah b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Zichronan livracha, may the blessings of our loved ones bless us every single day. And together we say, Amen. All right, let's make a kiddush and a motzi, and I'm going to give a few quick announcements, and then we'll sing you out. All right, short kiddush, Cantor, short kiddush.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen chayam. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
You'll come take Hala in a minute. All right, a few announcements. I'm sorry we ran over, but that song was so beautiful. We couldn't help ourselves. All right, Torah study tomorrow morning at 9. Hausers, thank you so much for sponsoring our wind down tonight. Please come back tomorrow morning for the bar mitzvah of Seth Hauser. Mahjong. We'll be back at Mike on Tuesday, 12:30. Schmooze and Views Thursday, 10:30. If you want to go to Israel with Cantor Josh, and why wouldn't you want to go to Israel with Cantor Josh next summer? We have another informational session if you missed tonight on Sunday morning at 10:30. And there will be an upcoming one on Zoom, but you can always approach either of us for any questions or for the itinerary. Our Micah Men's social group, called Micah Menches, will be having its inaugural event this Sunday, October 23rd at 10 a.m. Meet in front of the Nature Center at Edwin Warner Park on Highway 100 for a walk through the nature while building connections with one another. All ages are welcome. It's gorgeous in the park. You will not want to miss it. Adult B'nai Mitzvah classes are beginning later this fall. That's with me. Email me if you'd like to be part of it. Jared Hauser was an adult bar mitzvah. Lynn Hetty was an adult bar mitzvah. Natalie Hockman, Minnie Drangowski. Did I miss anyone in this room who did this with? Oh, is that Rick in the back? Hi, Rick. Okay, great. And Sandy, it's great. It's such a fun experience. So come see me if you'd like to be a part of that. We're having a blood drive this Sunday from 9 to 1. We do need you to sign up for an appointment. On our website, each donor will receive a $10 e-gift card to a merchant of their choice. Wow, that's cool. You get $10 for your blood. I love that. Okay, and Julie Greenberg and I are hosting a 2-part series on the aging parent. If you find yourself in the sandwich generation, you've got kids, but you've also got parents, and you're parenting all of them, and you don't know, you need support, and there's a lot of issues at hand, please come and join us. The first one will be this coming Thursday at 6 p.m., and registration is required because we want to know you're showing up, but come. We'd love to have you. Okay, I think I get it all. And Shabbat Shalom, and we're going to sing you on out. Have a great evening. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you again to Charles for joining us.
Thank you, Charles. Come grab a piece of challah.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Hey.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hey.
Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Hey.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, I can make this work.
I know. You're the man.
Thank you so much. It was great.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.